Okay, no time to kill. This is like the third, fourth time I've ran out of time on this thing. So, I drew it. We're gonna give it a go. Superficial backline, myofascial lines. Sue has massive hips. Calcaneus up to the condyles of the femur, through the hammies, through the glutes, up the traps, and up onto the occipital ridge, and actually over to the frontal bone. The purpose of this one is for extension. Okay, so this keeps your body in an extended position, except for your knees, which it puts in flexion. But it just kind of keeps your body upright. Babies develop this late, so that's why the head drops down. It also does on a movement purpose. It does plantar flexion. Again, that extension of the knee, flexion of the knees. Sorry, and there's more slow twitch fibers for the postural purposes there. Next. This is Trevor. Trevor has elephantitis in his left arm. Okay, so superficial front line starts on the dorsal surface of the toe phalanges, up through your patella, through the rectus femoris, up to the AIIS, back down to the pubic tubercle, up through the sternum, hits the claves, up through the sternocleidomastoid and into the mastoid process. This one counterbalances the back superficial line or superficial back line. It has more fast twitch fibers for big movements. It does the extension of the knee that the back line doesn't do. It does plantar dorsiflexion. And it'll just do flexion of the trunk and the hips. So this one just counterbalances, keeps your body in an upright position, and for those movements, it does any kind of forward movement, more aggressive than the back line with those fast twitch fibers. Next one. Okay, the lateral line. This is Dave. He's bald. The lateral line starts on that lateral portion of the foot there, at the first and fifth metatarsal bases, up through the lateral tibial condyles, through your TFL, hits the glutes, hits the iliac crest, ASIS, bounces back and forth on the ribs there, hitting some serratus anterior, up again through the sternocleidomastoid to the occipital ridge and mastoid process. This one stabilizes the body front and back and left and right. It stops your knees from buckling on a functional movement function. It does abduction of the hip. It does lateral flexion, obviously, and eversion of the foot, anything in that kind of frontal plane. Spiral line, I love this one. This one's super interesting. Okay, spiral line. This one starts up at the occipital. Starts up at the occipital and temporal bones here, so it's the outside ones there. Comes through, down in between your scaps, hits those rhomboids. Comes back out to serratus anterior here. Okay, there's a lot of tissue in there. Wraps round to the front, through the rectus femoris, right here to the to your hips. And then out to the lateral side of your leg there, and then cuts down into the inside, wraps back up. Okay, so wraps back up here. You can see that. Wraps back up, past the hammies, past the glutes, past the traps, straight up here to your occipital ridge again, where it started out. This one's just a really good packaging for the entire stability of the body. If it kind of holds everything together. If there's an imbalance in the body, in the fascia, in this fascia, the spiral line fascia, it actually has it's pretty detrimental, but it kind of adjusts itself to that. So it contributes to the stabilization of all the other lines. On a movement function, it just kind of supports the trunks and the legs during eccentric and concentric movements. It has a lot to do with that kind of support, really wraps everything up together. Lastly, we just got so the functional lines. front functional line, back functional line. Front one starts in the pecs, goes down to the lower ribs here, rectus femoris and the pubic bone, and then kind of crosses over here to the contralateral abductor longus. And so mainly for asymmetrical movements, so like throwing a tennis ball, punching someone in the face, what have you. Back functional line, very similar, but on the back. So it starts with your lats, then hits the lumbosacral fascia at the bottom of your back there, contralateral glutes, opposite glutes, and then continues to vastus lateralis right here on your legs. And that's for movements like doing a layup, any of those kind of also asymmetrical movements. Awesome. Thanks, guys.